I have a quick question for you. Do you ever wonder why you never allow yourself to have what you want? Do you ever wonder why you don't even really know what you want? Have you ever stopped to really ask yourself that in the last month, the last week, the last year? I know that we tend to do it around New Year's, but do you stop during the average week and go, what is it I really want in life? Do I want more money? Do I want more of my relationships? Do I want more authenticity in my life? Do I want closer connections with my family? Do I want a career that inspires and makes me feel like I have purpose and meaning? Maybe you were like me and you bought every self development or coaching or healing program trying to figure out why you were so stuck. Maybe you had some successes, but just found yourself sliding back into your old reality before you even realized what was happening. The truth is, your focus creates your reality. And when you're focused on healing and when you're focused on self development, you get more need for self development and you get a higher need for more healing. Your brain is programmed to keep you alive by focusing on what you have always focused on. My name is Tabitha MacDonald, and I am a mindset coach dedicated to helping people transform their lives by learning to override their outdated survival patterns. I use science backed methods to gently rewire the old neural pathways that keep you stuck and teach you how to become a conscious creator so that you can live a life you truly love and inspire others to do the same. I am a successful body worker and a mindset coach, helping people overcome their trauma. But it wasn't always this way. I had a tough childhood. I was homeless at 16 and forced to drop out of high school. I moved to live with my father, went to a trade school so I could start a career and take care of myself. I had one dysfunctional romantic relationship after another. I moved careers often because I was easily bored and didn't want to focus on one thing for too long. I was working in the dot-com or in the high-tech industry when the dot-com industry crashed. And I remember walking into my corporate job and I looked around at this sea of cubicles and I thought to myself, my soul will die if I stay in this place. And I asked my manager to make sure I was one of the people let go. I sold everything. I moved to England. I just left and I felt free for the first time in a really long time. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea how I was going to survive or what I was going to do with my life. And as if the universe heard my call, one of my friends said to me, you should be a massage therapist. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And I looked up a program the next day and it would allow me a visa to stay in the country and also to get a part-time job. And I signed up right away. And it was a complimentary medicine program. And I loved it. I loved it so much. I finally found like home within myself. I was so excited about what I was learning and what I was going to be able to help people with. I remember I was working in a bookstore and I would just stand in the alternative health section, organizing and reorganizing all of the books according to my favorite subjects and like just waiting for somebody to ask me a question so I could be of service to them and recommend my favorite book. I bought all the books on reflexology, clinical aromatherapy, holistic nutrition, Indian head massage, and it was fun. It was so fun. And then of course I was in a relationship and it fell apart because that was my old pattern, my old survival pattern. And I ended up moving home to America and got back together with my ex. And probably wasn't the best idea, although I don't have any regrets because I did get two beautiful children out of it. Um, but he was also an alcoholic. And I mean, he did get sober and we got married. And produced two beautiful, beautiful children, and we had a really good life. I mean, we really did. When the kids were little, I got to be a stay-at-home mom, which I loved, and we had a beautiful community. And then, the 2008 market crashed, and he was in construction, and it was just hard. It was hard on families who lost everything during the crash, and it was hard on us, especially. So we had to, again, restart, recreate, and move closer to family so that we had more support. And I had to go back to a corporate career because I didn't have a license in the US. And I remember feeling excited to be back at work. I mean, I missed my kids, but my ex-husband was doing a good job taking care of them at home. It was nice to be back in a career, but again, here I am sitting in a corporate job that was soul sucking, and I didn't feel good about it. And I decided to go back to massage school and get my license here in the US. And it was amazing. I mean, it was great. I It was funny, like the minute I walked in and I reconnected with the table, I felt like that same feeling I felt in England. I was like, oh, I found home again. It wasn't long after that, though, my husband started drinking again. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I wouldn't remember the exact date. I came home and found him drunk at the neighbors. And a few days later, he sat me down at dinner and he said, I'm not going to stop drinking. That's your problem, not mine. I'm going to keep drinking. And in my classic codependent way, I fought. I fought hard. I was going to fix everything for us. I was going to create safety for myself however I could. Unfortunately, his drinking got really bad, and so did his behavior. Alcoholism is very degenerative, right? It's a degenerative disease, and so it just gets worse with time. And he became a man I wasn't familiar with. He was not the man I married, and not the man I built my life with. And I was terrified. I didn't have a job. I was trying to finish school, and I just had this deep inner knowing that I just had to keep going. So I took it one step at a time, one step at a time. And I just kept thinking about what my kids needed from me. And somebody told me, they said, oh, you should just go get on welfare. You're going to be very poor. And I was like, I don't want to be poor. I want to be a wealthy single mom. I don't want to have that narrative in my life. I don't want to follow that pattern, that history of women in my family. I want to show my daughter what it looks like to be an entrepreneur and to create a business. And that's what I did. I went about setting it up. I set up a very, very successful massage clinic. We had at 1.9 massage therapists, and I was doing what my dream was, which was to teach other massage therapists how to make a good living doing massage. And I was good at it. I was teaching massage. I felt good. However, I let my health go. I let my health go big time. I was 150 pounds overweight. I could barely walk. I had horrible back pain, horrible foot pain. I'd throw my back out all of the time. And I never took care of myself because I just didn't feel worthy of it. I wanted to take care of everybody around me and make sure that I had financial security, that my clients were taken care of, that my therapists were taken care of, but never myself. And that catches up with you, apparently. You can't live like that forever. I remember when I walked into Weight Watchers for what I say the first time, and I just didn't think it was going to work, and I just started plugging away one pound at a time, and then Weight Watchers ran its course, and I joined another coaching program and another coaching program, looking for the answer of why I just couldn't figure out how to lose weight. And every time I got a little bit further and a little bit further, and I found myself 100 pounds down, and I was feeling really good and really confident. And then COVID hit, and I think we can all remember what that felt like. I mean, I owned a clinic and I was a single mom, so I had to shut my business down, and it was scary. It was scary times, and I just did the same thing. I just kept plugging along. I was like, I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm gonna surrender. I wasn't into meditation back then, but I was like, I'm gonna manifest. I'm gonna create, and I got by. I figured everything out, even during this really stressful time, and reopened. and I had to take on a ton of debt, which I didn't have before. I had everything successfully done without debt before, so I had to take on a ton of debt to reopen, which was scary, but I just knew I was gonna figure it out. I knew I was gonna figure it out. And then in 2021, I decided to do a trauma program to help my clients who were coming in really traumatized from COVID, the election, the riots. And at the same time, I was doing an Enneagram course because I love the Enneagram. I think it is probably one of the best self-development tools on the planet. And it's thousands of years old. So it's kind of a rock solid, it's a rock solid proven approach to getting to know your ego. It's amazing, which I'll cover in a different video. But if you're interested, you can go watch my video on the Enneagram and I'll talk more about it in that. But so I was doing this Enneagram course and it said that social sevens were the most likely to have repressed memories. And I was doing a trauma course at the time and I thought, no, I would know if I had repressed memories. So there was this meditation I'd been putting off, and the meditation was to unlock your original incident that was keeping you stuck in your old patterns. And I had gained, like a lot of people, I'd gained 30 pounds back over COVID. And I was like, I really want to shift this, and I can't seem to get my mind in the right place again. And so I did this trauma course, and this meditation literally destroyed my brain. The reality that I had in my head about certain events in my life was a made-up reality. Because if you've ever read The Body Keeps the Score, apparently when events are traumatic enough, you'll rewrite them so that they have a different ending. And it's a beautiful safety mechanism for little kids and young adults and even adults to make sense of really horrible events. And looking back, I'm super grateful for that part of my brain because it made a beautiful world in a pretty ugly situation. And it was hard because I had all of this trauma that I suddenly had to process, and it felt like looking up at Mount Everest and not having any climbing gear. There was no therapists available because it was post-COVID and they were all booked for months. And I thought, I'm just going to throw a wide net for healing. I'm just going to throw a wide net. So I went and saw shamans. I saw art therapists, music therapists, EMDR specialists, somatic practitioners, yoga, exotic dance. I mean, you name it, I went for it because I was not this person who was stuck in a traumatic response. I didn't want to be that person. And one day on YouTube, I found this video by this redheaded New Zealand guy named Chris Duncan. And he basically did this video rewiring these two women out of this fear response of public speaking. And my higher self immediately said, that's it. That's the answer right there. Buy the program. And I did, and I got such good results. I signed up for his coaching program and became a certified coach. And that is now my passion and my desire, and my is just to help people rewire those survival patterns that keep them stuck in a loop of trauma, self-sabotage, limiting beliefs. And when you work with me, what we're going to do is take a look at just validate your experience. You're not broken. You're just responding to survival patterns that you developed throughout your lifetime. Most of them before the age of 8, most of the survival patterns you developed, you don't even have memories in your active mind for. And once we just kind of like sit with that and acknowledge that, we want to like sit down and take a look at, what do you want to create? What is it that you want out of your life? If you weren't stuck in a pattern of anxiety and stress and overwhelm and burnout, what would you love your life to look like? What do you want your legacy to be when you look back on your life? We're going to take a look at those self-sabotaging behaviors, those self-limiting identities, the one that says you're not good enough, that you're not capable, you're not worthy. We're going to take a look at those identities, and we're going to recode. We're going to recode those limiting beliefs and keep you focused on what you want to create. And the benefit of having a coach is that you have somebody on your side who's continually pulling you forward. There were so many times I wanted to leave the magnetic mind. the magnetic mind program. I'm so grateful for my coordinator, James, because he would call me up and say, Tabitha, this is just one of those self-sabotaging identities that doesn't want to make progress in life. It's afraid that you're going to change. And I would be like, "Oh, you're a charlatan. I want my money back. You're crazy." Like, and then he'd be like, just keep plugging forward. I'll give you a refund if you need it, but just trust me. And there wasn't a lot of people I trusted in the world at that time, but for some reason, I trusted this guy I'd never met. And he was right. I just kept focusing on what I wanted to create. I kept um, focusing on creation. And the thing about trauma is it just can't survive in the same path of creation. When we're creating and when we're looking forward to what we want, that trauma just heals in the wake. And it's beautiful because I didn't have to go through, 20 years of therapy to unpack everything and try to figure out what it meant. The recode process helped pull the charged emotions out of those memories and left all of the wisdom. So I can still see those memories like they're a movie happening to somebody else. The difference is I'm not dissociating from them anymore. I'm not hiding from them. I know exactly what they are. They just don't hold an emotional charge for me anymore, which feels like somebody gave me a key to a prison I didn't know I was in. And then the last piece of coaching with me is I'm going to teach you how to take aligned action and hold you accountable to it. We do a lot of aligned action taking because it's like the biggest problem with the world of manifesting is we think we could just sit around waiting for it to show up. And the truth is our intuition is going to tell us what aligned action that we need to take in order to create what we want to create. And that is where creation coaching is different than manifesting. Yes, we manifest. Yes, we clear those blocks that keep us stuck from receiving what we want to create. Then we learn how to take aligned action and we learn how to tap into our intuition in order to figure out exactly what actions need to be taken to give us the best results. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you're interested in signing up for a introductory recode, you can click on the link below and schedule an appointment with me on my calendar. If you want to to know me more, you can watch some of my videos. I'm also having a podcast launching November 2022, and it's called Let Your Life Bloom. So you should be able to find that over on whatever way you get your podcasts. And I also do some public speaking events around the Northwest. You can check my website, tabithamcdonald.net, for that schedule. And so I look forward to meeting and connecting with you in the future and also watching you grow and bloom into the person that you have always known that you could be.